Today I'm answering your fashion questions. I asked you on my Instagram last week to send me your best fashion questions. You guys really went above and beyond, and thank you for all your input and just your amazing quality questions. And well, today I'm here at the desk again. No wobbly monitor for this video, don't worry. So it is time to answer your fashion questions. As always, if you enjoyed this, don't forget to drop this video a like and subscribe for more great men's fashion videos just like this one. Right. Let's begin. Okay, this is a very appropriate first question for this video, and there were about 10 people who asked the same kind of question as this. But Fabio asks, who/what got you into fashion? I got into fashion when I was about 13 or 40, and like many people, I got into it through skateboarding. Skateboarding was such a huge part of my life growing up as a teenager. It was all I cared about, all I really thought about for such a long time. And I was actually sponsored for a few years when I was younger. I just really started to pay attention to the people who I admired and what they were wearing. And I found that if I was dressed in a way that others who I respected dressed, psychologically, it kind of boosted my confidence. And mainly because of this confidence, I just found that I progressed my skills way fast. It was really the first time where clothes to me were more than just pieces of fabric. They sort of really started to have a significant impact on my mindset. I have to note though, I really went all in on one style of one particular skater that I really loved, who had this really super sort of eclectic maximalist vibe. I always remember one specific outfit I wore trying to replicate this guy's style, and I wore it in a video, and I got absolutely like flamed in the comments of the Facebook group that I was in at the time. Picture this outfit. I started with a white and blue plaid checked short sleeve button-up shirt. I then paired it with some pink Hawaiian floral swim shorts, like wide 3/4 length swim shorts. I wore odd striped socks. Finished the outfit off with some fluorescent yellow high top sneakers. Yeah, if I can pull myself out of a fashion black hole like that, then I really believe that absolutely anyone can learn to dress well. Up next is a spicy one, and it is, what is the worst fashion tip you've ever heard before? Man, I have heard so much over the years. God, where do I even start with this? I know what I'm gonna say here. When I got into fashion, there was one guy absolutely running men's fashion here on YouTube. You guys probably know what I'm gonna say. It was Alpha, and I watched his videos just religiously. To be honest, his advice wasn't all bad at the time. A lot of it was well-intentioned, and a lot of it did work when I sort of was learning and, you know, getting my first steps into fashion. But there is one video that I always remember. The Dan Movement watches and Rolex video. That has to be up there. For those that don't know, Movement are, or at least they were at the time, a company that just bought the worst quality blank watches. They just then stamped their logos on them and then marked up the price like 500% or something. They then paid him to do an absolutely career-ending video, and he actually went through with it. Where he genuinely tries to convince you that these cheap knockoff Panda by Alibaba watches are better in many different ways than a Rolex watch. I mean, that just has to be up there for me for the worst fashion advice I've ever heard. I guess it really highlighted to me though just how far people would go for sponsorship money though. I mean, it would be like me doing a sponsored video for Shein or something, you know, like crazy. Actually, Temu did email me the other day, so guys, be on the lookout for a Ryan Wild Temu video. It's coming soon. Third question comes from rlwstyleuk. What are 3 grail items that you would like to acquire for your wardrobe? The first would definitely be a black Saint Laurent teddy jacket. In 2013, 2014, my interest with fashion was really taking off. Hedi Slimane at Saint Laurent was running menswear at the time. I always remember that photo of A$AP Rocky wearing it with the backwards white cap. It was really the first time that I saw something so sick, and it was just so outrageously expensive. Over the years, I have tried this jacket on quite a few times, but I would never ever let myself even consider purchasing one. They are just so insanely expensive now. I just really think they're so beautiful. They're so timeless and super versatile. Really think that I could incorporate one into my wardrobe and make some great outfits from it. The second is another jacket. It's the Acne Studios wall zipper jacket. I just love this jacket from the moment I saw it. It has such a beautiful oversized silhouette. It's 100% wool outer, and I really love the pleated detail at the back. I really think that if I ever owned this jacket, I would just never wear anything else when it comes to smart outerwear. Again though, it's just so expensive. I think they're like 800 or 900, and I never see it on sale. They do so well for Acne, like they never put them on sale. Yeah, that jacket is definitely up there as well. Lastly, I think let's go for some footwear. Let me think. Oh, I know. I would absolutely love a pair of Andamula Mista boots, particularly the Louise, I think they're called, or the Hiko. Those two are just absolutely stunning. I've always kind of had a soft spot for these, but the prices again are just so insane. I would never ever consider purchasing them. But yeah, these are definitely a grail piece for me. Travan asks, what was/is your primary job apart from YouTube? Let me start by saying that I wish YouTube was my full-time job. I cannot wait, and I promise that I will work hard until it is my job. And when it is, I will continue continue to work hard at it. Currently though, I'm doing YouTube with one full-time job on the side and one smaller part-time job on the side. I don't even know if you could consider it a job. My main job though, I am a freelance video editor, and I have been for about 4 years now, is it? Yeah, it'll be 5 years in 2025. I won't go into my whole career backstory because it is quite a tale, but I've generally worked in the TV and film industry since graduating film school. I was first a camera assistant, and then I was a camera operator for a bit, and now I've moved to the very cushy life as a freelance editor. My other side job I do very rarely, it's like a once or twice a month thing, is that I help my dad, who is a electrician nearing retirement age, and sometimes he just needs a extra pair of hands pulling out fridges and washing machines and whatever, so I just go to help him out. Henry asks, summer style or winter/fall style? As a person, I love summer. There is no better feeling to me than waking up on a beautiful summer's day. The sky is blue, the weather is warm, you know, you wake up, make yourself coffee, maybe some poached eggs on toast. Oh, I love summer so much. For fashion though, it has to be fall winter. I'm very lucky actually here in the UK. We really do get 4 distinct seasons that all run for like some significant amount of time. Fall winter fashion though is just the best. You can really push yourself when it comes to layering, color combinations, texture combinations, and of course you really get to wear all of your amazing outerwear. James asks, if you could only wear all your attire from one brand for the rest of your life, which brand? This is such a good question. For the rest of my life, considering everything, my age and how I see my style transitioning at the moment and where I see it going in the future, I would have to say Le Mer. Le Mer for me is just a pinnacle of high quality, beautifully made clothes. And I find myself constantly always referring to them in terms of fashion inspiration, as well as pieces just to consider adding to my wardrobe. Like I'll go on their website, see what they've put out and sort of see if I can find alternatives that sort of replicate their clothes. Because it's so expensive, I could probably never afford any of it. The shirting is beautiful, the outerwear is stunning, the color palette, the accessories are incredible as well. The croissant bag, I would love a croissant bag. That might be a grail actually now that I think about it. And overall, they just have such a keen eye for great quality materials. As I grow older too, like I mentioned, I can definitely see myself leaning more towards a smart casual wardrobe. I mean, all my favorite outfits at the moment are somewhat inspired by Le Mer. I also just think they have a great range of items too. I just wish it wasn't so damn expensive. Okay, next question. What would you like to achieve in your community in the next couple of years? I have a lot of plans when it comes to what I want to do over the next couple of years. The main goal at the moment is to just keep growing the community. Now I'm in my 2nd year on YouTube, and I feel that this really could become something like a career to me. I really want to go all out, 100%, nothing left on the table. But honestly, I am so happy with the little community we have here on YouTube and my little tiny community on Instagram too. All your comments, all your feedback on my videos, and just generally the questions that I got for this video really proved to me that I'm creating a space for people who love fashion and are smart about it too, which is really exactly what I wanted to create. Practically though, I mean, I would love to start posting more short form content on here as shorts or on Instagram, TikTok, those kinds of things. I'm thinking maybe some collab videos with other fashion YouTubers. I mean, if they'll help me, of course. I'm also considering making a Discord server where we can all chill out, we can all hang out. You guys can ask questions, get some feedback on things, and just have a great place where anyone, whether you're a beginner or whether you've been doing this a long time, you can discuss fashion at any capacity and do it in a very casual, kind of friendly way. Oh, here's a great question. Harvey asks, how relevant do you think your age is when creating an outfit? I think I know what you mean by this, and I'm gonna out myself with another semi-embarrassing story. There was a period where I was younger where I had just discovered smart clothing. I was probably about 19, and I remember thinking, you know, I'm 19 now, I'm not a kid anymore, I need to dress like an adult. And I think a lot of people also go through the same process. So I really started to get into smarter clothing options, you know, like button-up shirts, ties, blazers, smart trousers, dress shoes. So here's a story for you. I once had my hair cut at the age of 19 wearing a crisp white button-up shirt with a tie, with some smart black trousers, some brown dress Oxfords for footwear, and a tweed blazer. Bearing in mind, I was 19 at the time. Oh God. Some of you probably think that's crazy, and some of you might think it's kind of cool, you know, to have aspirations at such a young age to dress like an adult. I think the older I get, the more I have found myself leaning towards those smart casual brands. And whether consciously or subconsciously, it is definitely because of my age. But then to contradict that entirely, I still love brands like Cole Buxton, who definitely lean more casual. Ultimately though, I think it depends. You can let your age influence your style if you want to dress more socially acceptable. But really, I think as long as your style resonates with you on a very personal level and you are very comfortable with it, at least to me, age really doesn't matter. Great question though. Let's move on. Nathan asks, what inspires your fashion choices and does it correlate with what's in style/trending? Another great question. I really try to get my fashion inspiration from just absolutely anywhere and anyone, whether that's trends or not. I will say though, what's in style or currently trending at the time can definitely expose you to a lot of new ideas you may never have considered. I would say not all trends are equal though. You really kind of have to figure out what trends are more timeless and which ones are more of a flash in the pan kind of trend. When something new comes along, I always kind of think of them on a scale of timelessness, if that makes sense. For example, a very timeless trend would be something like workwear. Workwear is and will always be a great choice for basing your outfit around, whereas these weird, smart, casual blended shoes that we're seeing that are super popular at the moment are not, at least in my opinion, anywhere near as timeless. I would say I'm always conscious of what is trending, but I'm just very picky with trends I choose to implement, so sometimes it correlates more on what is trending and sometimes it correlates less. Question 10 from Isaiah, how do you decide on the right size of a piece when shopping online? Well, there is a simple answer and a more complicated answer that is more involved initially, but it is way more effective long term. The simple answer is that you just have to know your measurements. Chest, waist, and inseam are a great place to start. That way you can get a rough idea of how something will fit you. If you really want to get a solid, clear idea of how something will fit you exactly, then I would always highly recommend measuring your favorite pieces you already have in your wardrobe. I've spoken about this a few times before, but really having measurements from all of your favorite pieces you already own and you already know fit you perfectly is so underrated. You don't have to measure absolutely everything, but having measurements for at least one piece in each category of clothing that you really love is a good place to start. I just keep all of mine in my notes pad on my phone. That way when you're shopping online, you can directly compare your online measurements with your garments measurements and you'll just get a much clearer idea of how something fits. Also, you should never be afraid to order something in more than one size and just return the size that you don't like. I know some people have some anxiety about this, but honestly, I used to work in a clothes shop. People do it all the time. It's such a normal thing to do. So yeah, I hope this helps. Zach asks, what are some questions to ask yourself when in the change room that you don't regret buying a piece? The first thing I would say is that you should always be very intentional when you go out shopping for something. When I go out shopping, it is like a mission. I know exactly what I want to try. I know exactly what stores carry it. So if one store doesn't have it, then I can go to another one and try it. And I know exactly what sizes I want to try it in because I've probably looked up the measurements online myself. I would also highly recommend going shopping to purchase something in the outfit that you think would look best with whatever you're purchasing, if that makes sense. This is super important for things like jackets and especially shoes. This way you kind of already know what this item looks like with your style and it just makes it so much easier to make an informed decision. Other questions I find myself asking though are, do I really need this item? Will this item fill a gap in my wardrobe? Obviously, can I afford this item? And lastly, I would just really consider how I see myself implementing this piece into my wardrobe. And that goes back to my point about wearing the right outfit on the day of purchase. Clothing regret is a horrible feeling. I've been there many times. Hopefully these will help you out. Dan asks, best ways to find new brands and knowing they're worth the price. This is a tough one. To find new brands, again, you just need to just absorb as much fashion stuff as possible. When I was first starting, I loved to go on those big curated websites, something like Farfetch or Essence, and I would just type in some very general search queries, something like black overcoat or, white sneakers, because these sites are curated and they just stock to the brim of new and old brands. Especially nowadays with how many brands are about, you can really spend hours and hours deep diving into that type of thing and having a look for yourself. Even now I do this every so often and I always come across some new brands that I've never really heard of before doing some cool stuff. Knowing they're worth the price though is such a subjective thing. What you think is great value, someone else might think it's super overpriced. When I do come across new brands though, a great benchmark like baseline test is always material. I think it's just a really great indicator because so many brands nowadays, they have amazing websites, they have amazing looking clothes, but then you kind of realize it's all acrylic and polyester. If they're using natural materials, it just shows that they care more than simply just how good an item looks. For me at least, it should always be a combination of great design and great materials. And looking at materials is always a great benchmark I've found when I come across new brands. Okay, question 13. With fashion trends constantly changing, where do you see the future of fashion going? Okay, another great question. Damn, I need to think about this one. Because of how rapid the trend cycle is currently with things like Instagram and TikTok and all these sort of like deliberately eye-catching and sort of controversial micro trends that are going around. There really is just no one way to dress like there was, I don't know, 10 years ago. It's way more about the individual and the piece selection and just generally how they put things together. Fashion should always be about style and about taste and how an individual can use both to create some great outfits. In the future though, I really don't know. I've seen some interesting uses for AI. I know Tim did a video a couple of weeks ago where he had some like AI implementation. To be honest, I don't really know how I feel about that. When it comes to the future of personal style though, I really do hope it continues down this path of individuality being at the core of what is deemed most stylish. Logan asks, how does your personal identity shape your own style and how do you balance this with trends? Let me start by saying I think that personal identity should be at the heart of any authentic style. When your style aligns with your personality or your beliefs or your lifestyle, it really does become so natural for you and it really does become sort of like an effortless extension of who you are. Balancing this sort of authenticity alongside trends is a tough one, I would say. And this takes a lot of time, a lot of self-confidence and a lot of experimentation too. Like I sort of mentioned in the other question, I would very deliberately analyze trends through your personal style. That way you can just easily decide whether to hop on a trend or to just let it go. It is this delicate balance that really allows me to stay up to date with what's going on in the fashion world and participate when I want to without losing that core essence of what makes my style, you know? Great question again. Okay, question 15. I think I'm going to make this the last question because I've been filming for what feels like forever. It is a classic though. How do you get started in the fashion world if you're a beginner? I actually did a video answering this exact question not too long ago. If you genuinely like to know the first steps that I would take if I was a complete fashion beginner, I definitely recommend checking out this video here. Finally, thank you all so much to everyone who asked a question. I actually received just way more questions than I thought I would get and the quality of the questions was top notch. Those two questions I've answered today, keep an eye on your Instagram DMs. I'll be DMing one of you soon to make sure you get this mystery gift. Thank you for watching. Thank you again for 10k subs. I will see you in the video next Sunday. See you then.